Hello and welcome to this Maximum Power Up video. I'm Paul, and what this video is going to be is just a quick look around my games room. I know in the past I've had pictures up on my Twitter account, but I just start by showing an actual video of what I've actually got at the moment. Sort of just, well, gives you that visual aspect to it. So first thing really, starting off with some of my game posters. Zack McCracken, one of my favourite games there, great point and click adventure. Then to go alongside that, I've also got my Monkey Island poster as well. Both of those came from Play Expo in Manchester about a year and a half ago. And then here we've also got Rainbow Islands and New Zealand Story, both signed by Bob Wakeling, who I got to meet there. Before I go on to the games, I'm a big fan of the games magazines. So we've got quite a few here, a few retro gamers, a few of the old Nintendo magazines, the Commodore 64 book by Sam Dyer, the Ocean book as well. We've obviously got a few cheap books there as well. Here again, more of the Nintendo magazine. Then I've got my collection of Super Plays, some issues of Total, an old official PlayStation magazine there as well. Now down here I still need to sort these out, but it's a whole box full of old magazines such as Mean Machine Sega, more Total, some issues of Games Master. You've got things like some old Amiga magazines, and just absolutely tons of reading there. I will end up doing a few videos looking at certain issues there. There's obviously a lot to discuss. So just down there you've also got the Guitar Hero guitars and also the drums, something I've not used for quite a while. It's basically a genre that has actually died a little bit at the time. So starting off, my favourite console, the Super Nintendo. So I'm now on just short of 50 box Super Nintendo games, most of them in good condition. There's still a few which could do with upgrading, but as many of you know, the cost of Super Nintendo games is just getting bigger and bigger all the time. So I'm happy with what I've got at the moment. The Earthworm Jim games there, absolutely fantastic. See, obviously a fan of the old role-playing games, hence Illusion of Time there. As some of you may be aware of, I'm trying to collect all the Super Play Top 100 Super Nintendo games. I mean, like I say, some of these games are in really good condition. A few others are obviously a bit more worn, but that was obviously one of the downsides of the Super Nintendo. The boxes weren't that durable. Still looking down here. See, now these all just fit onto this one display cabinet, and now if we do go on to a second, starting up here, Tim Enigma. That's a good example of, well, a really hard to get game. The box is quite worn, so I do need to, if I see a better condition copy for the right price, pick that up. And then I go on to my N64 games. Now those are in more or less, not mint condition, but I'd say very good, 7 or 8 out of 10. Most of those have been picked up in the last 6 months from either local game shops or the odd one from games events. And then down here, just a few of the, it's easy just to take these out, a few of the cart only N64 games that I've got. Shadows of the Empire is meant to be a great game, something that I do struggle to get into. Just go there now. I've got quite a few of my Nintendo characters as well, and the massive Predator head. Down here are PlayStation 2 games. Again, they're starting to get a little more scarce. If you do see them out and about, it seems to be sports games. At the moment, I'm trying to get the Metal Gear Solid 3, because I've said to Phil that I want to play through them all and get used to that series. It's something I'm not really giving any time to. I'll just basically move those. The good thing is, there was probably about a year ago, you'd be able to get them really cheap. Some people on car boots were charging next to nothing for them. So just pull these forward, and again, I'm happy with my collection for PS2 because I've got quite a wide mixture. You've got the excellent Capcom Classics collections there, the Bouncer, a game that I've mentioned before, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, which I was absolutely obsessed with, well, a good few years ago now. A couple of the Devil May Cry games, Final Fight Streetwise, a couple of Grand Theft Autos, and Half-Life, which I've still never played. So that is growing all the time. Then I've just got a few of like my games mugs. I've got my Super Nintendo there, Megadrive, Commodore 64, another massive mug. Down here, it's hard to see, but I've got my Sega Saturn, a few other little bits and pieces of games, Saturn joystick, N64. Here I've got my PS1 games. There's a fair few of these now. Again, these you really don't see so much, apart from things like sports games. But again, last year I managed to find quite a few decent ones at an okay price as well, which is always good. So, you know, I've got things like Die Hard Arcade, Final Fantasy VI. Then we've got a few of the Commodore 64 games. I know there's a lot of Commodore 64 fans out there. Some of my purchases fairly recently were Batman the Movie, Target Renegade, which I remember playing quite a bit growing up, and then we've got things like International Party Plus, Finders Keepers. There's just all sorts of great stuff here. You know, there's just so many games, and the good thing is you can get a lot of them fairly cheap as well. Just have a quick look back there. Moving down, also got a few Game Boy cartridges. Nothing too interesting really, just things like Bugs Bunny, Mickey Mouse, Mario, and obviously things like, you know, all the Mario games. And then we've got a few of the Nintendo DS games as well. Then the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Color. A couple of Wii games there, Boom Street, Animal Crossing and Punch Out. And then down here, I have to pull these out. So it's the dark corner. But for, again, Super Nintendo, we've got Super Castlevania, another copy of Mickey's Magical Quest that I need to obviously get rid of now. See, I've got it boxed. Combo Tribes, Mario All-Stars and Mario World, Super Bomberman, and also Shadowrun, which unfortunately whoever bought it off decided to colour it in with black marker, but luckily it does work. And then really the final part of my collection is my Mega Drive games. So up here, not that you can really make it out, is Aladdin, which is a great platformer, Buggerman, another highly recommended one, and Bubba and Sticks, Cannon Fodder, Chuck Rock, Dick Tracy, EA double header with the all American football and hockey on, F1, your typical FIFA stuff, Gods, which I absolutely love playing on the Amiga and ST growing up, Green Dog, and as you can see, again, quite a varied collection. Nothing too rare though, sadly, on me Mega Drive. Got Robocop vs Terminator, great game. Shadow Dancer, Sonic, Speedball 2, hours spent on that. Toe Jam and L, Toki, Two Crude Dudes, which is a fantastic scrolling beat 'em up. World of Illusion, again, quite cheap as well, luckily, World of Illusion, but a great game. And then there's just a couple of Saturn games that are there. and then Megadrive joystick. So really, that's everything. That's just a quick look. There will be, videos featuring on certain games or magazines, as stated. Hope you've enjoyed this, and like I say, keep listening to the podcast because there's going to be a lot of stuff to discuss. Thanks a lot.